As you stand on the cusp of a new year, perhaps even a new age, there's a unique feeling that washes over you. December birthdays or any year-end milestone aren't just about getting older. They're quiet checkpoints, aren't they? It's a time when the world seems to pause, and you find yourself compelled to look at your life with a raw, honest lens. You might even sit down, perhaps with a blank page or just your thoughts, and ask yourself a powerful question. What do I know now that I wish I had understood much, much earlier? We're not talking about those surface-level inspirational quotes or the curated Pinterest advice, are we? No. This is about the profound truths, the hard-won wisdom you only gain by navigating disappointment, embracing growth, and simply living through the intricate dance of time. One of the most impactful realizations often hits you harder than you expect. It's the understanding that for years you might have been saving things for later. Perhaps it was that special bottle of wine, the luxurious bath bomb, or those beautiful clothes you deemed too fancy for everyday wear. And then, a moment arrives when you realize how many of those saved treasures have either literally expired or, more subtly, emotionally lost their sparkle. The opportunity to enjoy them in the present has simply passed. You discover that there's no perfect grand moment waiting in the future to justify your happiness. Life, in its beautiful unpredictability, doesn't reward endless waiting. In fact, embracing and enjoying things in the now rarely, if ever, becomes a regret. This powerful realization slowly begins to crack open another deeply ingrained belief you might have carried for most of your life: the pervasive mindset of scarcity. Perhaps, like many, you grew up believing that stability was synonymous with survival. The mantra was often, save every penny, avoid risks, and never want too much, lest you lose what little you have. But you learn that while fear can feel like a protector, it doesn't shield you forever. Instead, it subtly, yet powerfully, shrinks your world, limiting your experiences and opportunities. You come to understand that abundance isn't a delusion or a naive dream. It's a conscious choice to believe that good things don't vanish simply because you open your heart and hands to accept them. It's about trust. Another profound truth often arrives later than you expect, especially in your professional life. It's the realization that hard work alone, while crucial, doesn't automatically guarantee opportunity. You might have once believed that if you simply stayed quiet, performed your duties flawlessly, and kept your head down, your efforts would eventually be noticed and rewarded. Sometimes that happens, yes, but often it doesn't. The simple truth is, people are busy. They are deeply immersed in their own lives, their own goals, their own challenges. It's not a reflection on you, it's just the reality of human nature. You learn that speaking up, advocating for yourself, and highlighting your achievements isn't arrogance. It's clarity. Your hard work doesn't diminish in value simply because you confidently acknowledge it. Once this fundamental truth settles in, the act of asking for what you want, whether it's a raise, an opportunity, or even just clarity, becomes significantly less terrifying. Because you realize a profound, simple truth. If you don't ask, the answer is already, unequivocally, no. You've already made the decision for yourself without even trying. And with this understanding, rejection begins to lose its formidable power. You start to see that countless doors in life only open because someone, at some point, was brave enough to simply knock. That same bravery, that willingness to put yourself out there, also teaches you a crucial lesson about the opinions of others. You come to understand that not everyone, regardless of their position or perceived authority, deserves unlimited access to your precious energy, your time, or your emotional space. A simple litmus test emerges. If you wouldn't seek guidance or advice from someone, then their criticism simply doesn't need to carry any significant weight in your life. Their words are merely echoes in the wind. You realize that most people, often unconsciously, speak from a place of their own projections, their own fears, and their own unfulfilled desires, rather than from genuine insight into your unique situation. And then at some point, you come to accept another deeply uncomfortable, yet liberating truth. You will be misunderstood, not just once, but repeatedly throughout your life. You learn that no amount of explanation will always save you from being misjudged. Defending yourself vigorously doesn't always clear your name, and ironically, remaining silent doesn't either. It's a paradox you learn to navigate. The only thing that truly matters, the anchor in the storm, is knowing your own character with unwavering certainty and trusting that the people who genuinely know and love you already see that truth without you having to prove it. This leads to another powerful insight. What people think of you often says far more about their own internal landscape, their own biases, and their own experiences than it ever will about your true self. As you grow older, something else happens. Your intuition, that quiet inner voice, becomes unmistakably louder and clearer. It's a superpower you've been developing all along. That quiet discomfort, that faint unease you might have often ignored in your younger years, you realize now it was your intuition, diligently working to protect you, trying to whisper warnings or guide you toward better paths. Every single time you chose to override that gut feeling, you invariably paid the price later. Clarity always arrived eventually, but often not at the moment you desperately wished for it. Your 20s in particular teach you something profoundly personal and liberating. You have to actively decide who you are, not who social media trends dictate, not who your peers expect, but who you truly are at your core. This encompasses everything from your personal taste and style to your core values and your natural pace of life. It's about discovering your own rhythm. People truly begin to shine, to radiate an undeniable inner light when they stop desperately chasing external identities and start genuinely living authentically. True confidence, you realize, isn't found in seeking approval. It blossoms from a deep sense of alignment with your true self. And because you spend every single moment of your life with yourself, the way you speak to yourself internally, that constant inner dialogue, matters more than almost anything else. It shapes your reality. That persistent voice in your head, whether you realize it or not, actively constructs your reality. You learn that cruel, self-deprecating self-talk doesn't motivate you to do better. It slowly, insidiously erodes your spirit and self-worth. This is a pivotal understanding. True growth, sustainable and healthy growth, doesn't require a foundation of self-hatred or constant self-criticism. It thrives on self-compassion. Somewhere along this journey, you realize that every single year in your 20s feels like an entire lifetime unto itself. Each year packed with intense lessons and transformations. At 22, you might have felt like you had the world figured out, confident in your youthful insights. But by 28 or perhaps 29, you look back and realize just how much you genuinely didn't know, how much more there was to learn. And this realization isn't a sign of failure. It's a testament to your incredible expansion, your growth, and your evolving wisdom. It's a beautiful thing. Work, without a doubt, occupies a significant portion of your waking life. It's important, it provides purpose, and it absolutely matters. However, you learn the crucial distinction that your work, no matter how fulfilling, cannot and should not become your entire identity. You are so much more than your job title. When your entire sense of self-worth is inextricably linked to your performance, every professional setback, every missed opportunity feels not just like a disappointment, but like a complete collapse of your identity. You realize that a truly fulfilling life requires far more dimensions than just relentless productivity. It needs joy, connection, creativity, and rest. And here's the funny, almost magical thing you discover. When things you were so certain were meant for you inevitably fall apart, something better, something more aligned, eventually comes along to replace them. It doesn't happen immediately, and it certainly doesn't happen comfortably. There's often a period of discomfort and uncertainty. But if you look back, you'll see that this pattern of something better replacing what was lost happens consistently. It's a reliable rhythm of life. With each instance, with each time you witness this beautiful, consistent pattern unfold, your trust in life's grand design grows deeper and more unwavering. You also come to a humorous yet profound understanding. Advice, especially in the modern world, contradicts itself constantly. One expert says one thing, another says the opposite. You hear it all. Wake up at 5 a.m., countered by sleep as much as possible, grind harder versus rest more. It's an endless stream of conflicting directives. But the liberating truth is, there is no universal rulebook that applies to everyone. Your unique life, your unique self, truly responds to what genuinely fits you. And then, almost imperceptibly, quietly, a profound sense of peace begins to arrive. It's a peace that feels deeply earned. This peace isn't born from a suddenly perfect, problem-free life. No, it emerges because you consciously stop reacting to every single external stimulus, every minor inconvenience, every fleeting opinion. The peace you find in your late 20s feels different. It's not naive. It's a peace that has been hard-won, forged through experience, disappointment, and resilience. It feels truly earned. Money, too, undergoes a transformation in your understanding. It stops being this highly emotional, taboo subject, fraught with anxiety or desire. Instead, it becomes a practical tool, a resource, almost like a game you learn to play. It's a means to freedom, to experiences, to security, but never ever a measure of your inherent worth as a person. You come to a liberating realization. You don't need to be the absolute best, the top of the heap, to live a deeply meaningful and fulfilling life. Being number one, you discover, doesn't automatically guarantee inner contentment. And finally, perhaps most profoundly, your relationships clarify everything. They become mirrors reflecting your deepest truths and needs. The person you choose as your partner profoundly shapes your daily reality, more than almost any other choice you'll make. It becomes paramount to choose someone who makes your life feel expansive and lighter, not constricted or smaller. Your friendships deepen and enrich your life exponentially when you consciously choose quality over mere quantity. And your personal boundaries become robust when you truly grasp that every yes you offer to one thing inevitably costs you time and energy elsewhere. Your health, you realize, stops being an optional luxury and becomes a non-negotiable priority. Your body, in its wisdom, keeps meticulous receipts of every choice you make, good or bad, and you discover a powerful antidote to anxiety: movement. Physical activity, whether it's a walk, a run, or a dance, alters your mental state far more effectively than any amount of internal motivation or self-talk ever could. You also become acutely aware of how screens, in their pervasive glow, subtly steal your presence, your connection to the immediate moment. Life, you find, feels infinitely richer, more vibrant, and more real when you simply remember to look up. And finally, you realize that investing in yourself, nurturing your mind, cultivating your inner peace, establishing healthy routines, pays dividends, returns that no material object, no fleeting trend could ever hope to match. Eventually, after all the lessons and the growth, a profound sense of perspective quietly settles in. It's a grounding force. You grasp the immense, humbling truth. We are all just living on a floating rock, hurtling through space. In the grand scheme of things, very little is as serious or as catastrophic as our minds often make it out to be. And beauty, you discover it's not just in grand landscapes or perfect moments. It's truly everywhere, in the simplest of things, waiting to be noticed. You just have to slow down, to quiet the noise, and truly open your eyes and heart enough to notice it. Turning 29 or any significant life milestone doesn't magically hand you all the answers, but it offers something far more valuable: profound honesty. And that, my friend, just might be the most transformative, most valuable lesson of all.